As long as Derek Carr, Dennis Allen, head coach, Pete Carmichael, offensive coordinator, combo is running the Saints, I don't feel good about nothing further with this team.
Because the word motherfucker is a noun. It describes a person, place, or thing.
It's the motherfucking pie. Crew members. What's going on, man? What's going on? This is Mr. Headquarters of the motherfucking podcast, back again for motherfucking picks. Week 5, the NFL 2023 season. So without further ado, we're going to get right straight to it. Thursday night football. Chicago Bears. 0-4 Chicago Bears at the Washington Commanders, coming in at 2-2. With Washington favored by 6. Finally, there's been some life in Justin Fields. Justin Fields has looked like a quarterback this past week, even though they still lost. He showed why the Bears have put faith behind him. They lost a close game last week. Coming into this game on a short week, Washington has looked good at times, and at other times have looked like shit. And I'm kind of surprised by them. I thought I had them as one of my worst teams in the league. So far they've been playing slightly above expectations, but I still don't have a lot of hope for them. They just don't have enough offense to me. But seeing everything about this game, this is a surprising big spread. I would have thought it would have been closer because I think both of these teams aren't that good. But they have Washington heavily favored here in this game. I'm rolling with Washington as well. I think Chicago got 0-18 vibes about them. I don't know if they're gonna clean it up, but I like Washington in this game at home. I think Washington is gonna take care of business, and I think they actually cover in this game too. Washington is a well coached team, so I think despite them not having that as much talent on this team as compared to other teams, I think that they'll be able to get their W at home on Thursday Night Football against the Chicago Bears, and I'm calling it 24-10 Washington at home. All right. Next up, London. These damn London games. I don't know why we still got to deal with this as fans. We don't like it. Obviously, I've talked about this last week. People in Europe don't give a fuck about American football. They just don't care. It's like it's like how we look at soccer in America. That's how they look at American football. They don't give a fuck about it. But anyway. Jacksonville 2-2. Jacksonville Jaguars coming in at 2-2 against the Buffalo Bills coming in at 3-1, who play as the home team, and 4.5 favorites in this game. Buffalo is expected to win this game. I said this before. I don't see why people really, really feel that great about Jacksonville as a team. I mean, I know before the season started, everyone had Trevor Lawrence taking this big, big leap this year, and their team being uh one of the top 10 teams in the league. I don't see it. I see Jacksonville being the same Jacksonville as usual. Uh Buffalo with Josh Allen. Josh Allen has been, doing this thing. He's came up at times where he hasn't been clutch, and which is why they sometimes suffer with him throwing picks. But so far so good. I mean, you can't be mad at being 3-1 if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. So Buffalo is in a good position. The AFC East is up for grabs. Um, Other than Miami, they just beat Miami last week. So uh this is a perfect opportunity for Buffalo to get ahead of everybody else in the AFC East. So I think, like I said, long term, I don't believe in the Bills, but short term, yeah, they're a good bet. And I'm going to bet with the spread, they're 4.5 favorites. I like Buffalo to take this game. Stephon Diggs, uh, Josh Allen, and everybody else going to take care of business at home. They're going to win this game big time, 31-20 at home or in London. 31, let's say 31-20, 31-21, 31-21. 31-21, Buffalo takes this game in London. Book it. All right. Next up, we got the Tennessee Titans at 2-2 against the Indianapolis Colts at 2-2. AFC South rivals. The bare minimum teams. The 500 club. This is just the, slightly above average teams. Slightly below, slightly above. They're about, a C in the NFL. Titans and Colts, they should beat up on the bad teams at times. They might give some good teams some issues here and there. They might even steal a game or two in the season. But at the end, they're gonna probably end up being a 8-7 team. Yeah. They're gonna be a 500 ball club. They're gonna be like a 9-7 team, a 9-8 team, whatever the new standings is. But yeah, I see them being a 500 ball club. Yeah, I see that. I can see them being 9-8 or 8-7, 8-9, some shit like that, making the playoffs, or barely making the playoffs, or barely missing the playoffs, something like that, off the wild card. That's what these two type of teams are. Not both of them ain't gonna make it. The Colts is favored by 1. The Colts are favored by 1, so I think looking at everything, Anthony Richardson on one end, you got EJ's favorite quarterback over there in Tennessee, blanking on his name. That's how unimportant this motherfucker is. Damn, why am I blanking on this? Well, anyway, you got Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. You got Ryan Tannehill. You got Derrick Henry and this lethargic ass offense that they got. But I mean, I will say this: Tennessee has shown that they can get it going late in the season, midway through the season to keep it going. I mean, they made I want to say that they led the league, the AFC in one year, maybe like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. So I mean, they're capable of doing it, but I don't know if they're able to still do that same formula in 2023. And like I said, Anthony Richardson and the Colts have come a long way, so they looking like they might be something special over there in the future. I don't know about right now. Right now, they look, unpolished, like an unfinished product. They look like something's missing, something I need to add to this team in the future to make them even better, or have some of these key players take some leaps. But anyway, with that being said, I'm calling Tennessee to win this game, though. I think Tennessee takes this game on the road. Uh, Indianapolis is favored by 1, but I'm calling Tennessee to win this game. First upset of the week, and I almost won't call this a motherfucking lock, but I'm a chill. I ain't gonna call it that. I ain't gonna call it a motherfucking lock this week, but I'm gonna say this. I think Tennessee is almost a bettable game to say that they're gonna win this game on the road. So I'm calling Tennessee to win this game. Tennessee's gonna win this game. 20-10. Tennessee on the road by 10 points. And you don't cover on this game. Spread does not cover. So I'm calling Tennessee to win this game. All right. Next up, Baltimore Ravens 3-1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers 2-2. And Pittsburgh is the home underdogs at 3.5. Pittsburgh is underdogs at home at 3.5. The Steelers are underdogs at home at 3.5 against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Vegas wants you to believe that, Baltimore is the better team. And on paper, with everything that you know about both of these teams, that sounds about right. But this is also an AFC North rivalry game. And we already know how these fucking Steelers, Ravens games, they be going back and forth. You never know who's going to really come out and be winners. In theory, I won't say Baltimore should win this game, but I can see Pittsburgh winning this game at home. I can see Pittsburgh winning this game. Even though I think Baltimore is the better team. And I have Baltimore as like a deep playoff threat for the Super Bowl coming out the AFC if they're healthy. But they ain't healthy though. Now Pittsburgh ain't a perfect team neither. And I want to say that Kenny Pickett might be out for this game. Need to look that up. But as I looked it up, I mean, still doesn't matter, man. I mean, I think a lot of these I think Baltimore still hands down is the better team. Yeah, they missing OBJ. Which I'm gonna look up him too, see if he's gonna be missing more time. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, Kenny Pickett has been practicing this week, so it looks like he's gonna play Sunday. So, I yeah, I'm still calling the Steelers though. I'm calling the Steelers. It's gonna be a close game. It's a rivalry game. I know Baltimore looks better on paper and all that. I'm just calling. I think this is a stay away game, betting wise, but I think Pittsburgh should win this game. Pittsburgh should win this game. I don't know. I mean, maybe you should bet this game. It's 3.5. Uh, you hit on this game. It's nice returns if you're doing just a single game. Uh, but anyway, I'm calling Pittsburgh to win this game. Pittsburgh to win this game 21-20 at home. 21-20 Pittsburgh. 21-20 Pittsburgh over the Ravens. I'm calling. Not a lot, but I'm calling. All right. Next up, we got the 0-4 Carolina Panthers against the 3-1 Detroit Lions. The Lions are favored by 8.5 points at home, as they should. Nothing about Carolina has shown that they can win a football game. They are the same thing as the Chicago Bears in some ways, in the way the Chicago Bears situation is. Young quarterback with an unproven talent around him that's also young coaching. I just don't see these teams winning a lot of games. And unfortunately, Carolina and Chicago look like they might be the two worst teams in the league, potentially moving forward in the league too. Now, like I said, Chicago was showing some promise with Justin Fields early last week, but um, Bryce Young already missed one game where they had to have Andy Dalton come in as backup, and they just don't have a lot of good talent yet, man. I mean, they have a lot of promising talent, young talent, but they just not ready yet. And I said it before. I think they should have threw Andy Dalton out there to be the starting quarterback to start the season, instead of throwing Bryce Young out there to the Wolves, uh, rookie season, day one. I think he should have let him progress. He's got a lot to learn, and for his height, there's a lot he needs to learn. And I felt like that starting him week one was a mistake. I think they should have started Andy Dalton to start this season, let him get the lumps, let Bryce Young learn from the back. It's been proven to work sometimes. So, I mean, some of the greats didn't always start day one. Tom Brady didn't start day one. Brett Favre didn't start day one. Steve Young, Donovan McNabb. No, wait, I might be wrong, McNabb. Never mind. But some of these quarterbacks did not start day one. He did not. Aaron Rodgers did not start day one. Did not. Did not. So it doesn't always have to be proven that these quarterbacks have to start day one because they was the number one overall pick. Stop it. Stop. Let that man learn. He clearly look like he need to learn a little bit more when he's out there on the field. But anyway, with that being said, Detroit's defense looks like a beast. Their team looks revamped. I'm calling Detroit to win this game. I agree with the spread from Vegas. I'm going with a big win, 35-14 Detroit. And that's a motherfucking lock. A motherfucking lock. Detroit wins this week over Chicago, over Carolina. Detroit over Carolina, 35-10 at home. Next up, 2-2 Houston Texans against the 2-2 Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta at home for this game. Atlanta is also favored by 2.5. Atlanta is favored for this game. Houston has been surprisingly won some games here these past 2 weeks. Surprised me. But Houston looks good. D'Amico Ryan's got the team looking like they ain't no scrubs out there. I mean, and CJ Stroud looked like he should have been a number one pick over Bryce Young. He looks like he's been ready to start day one. But everybody's different. But yeah, Desmond Riddler with Atlanta, he's been having some good, some bad, in between play for them at Atlanta. 2-2 start for them right now is not that bad. Like, considering that the talent that they got on their team to be 2-2, I'm surprised. I also had Atlanta as one of those bad teams. This game is a little more interesting now because both of these teams are exceeding expectations so far. So I'm gonna say right now, though, I think Houston is gonna win this game. I think Houston's gonna win this game. I think they upset Atlanta on the road. CJ Stroud and everybody else on Houston. I think Houston takes this game close game on the road, calling it 17-16. Houston on the road. Book it. All right. Next up, the New York Giants. 1-3 New York Giants. The 1-3 New York Giants. Taking on the 3-1 Miami Dolphins, who are favored by 9.5. God damn. Now, it is good to note that Miami did not look like the same team they was 2 weeks ago when they dropped 70 on Denver. So it looked a little bit more beatable against Buffalo. Buffalo did beat them last week. And now you have Miami hosting the Giants. I think you're gonna see Miami get back to the basics and actually take care of business. Tagovailoa, Ty Hill getting everything together. Uh, I think this team is gonna whoop ass on New York. They're gonna really take out their frustration. They're really gonna take their frustration out on New York. I think the Giants catching Miami at the wrong time. Um, I see this as a major, major, major bounce back game for Miami. I think Miami's gonna beat up on the bad teams. I think so. That's what I think. So I'm calling Miami to win this game. The Dolphins to take this game 27-17. Dolphins beat up on the Giants. The score might be only 10 points, but it ain't gonna be close. It ain't gonna be close. Ain't gonna be close. Miami wins this game. All right. Next up, now the 1-3 Cincinnati Bengals. What the 1-3 Cincinnati Bengals against the 1-3 Arizona Cardinals. What is going on with Joe Burrow and the Bengals? Now, Cincinnati is favored in this game by 4 on the road. Now, I forgot that. I forgot to mention that there's only 13 games this week. A couple teams are off this week. The Browns, Chargers, Bucks, and Rams are all off this week. So we have a total amount. Let's see, I'm looking at the board here. We got 4 games in total out of 13 where the road team is favored. Now, this is one of those 4 games. Cincinnati is favored here by 4 over Arizona. Now, if you're looking at the talent across the board, there's no way there's no way there's no way based on the talent that's available that Cincinnati should lose this game. Now, we already everybody clowned Dallas for losing to Arizona early in the year when they were undefeated at the time. I think they were 2-0. Now, Arizona looks like a bad team. I think they can catch you slipping if you get too arrogant, like Dallas found out. Hopefully, Cincinnati doesn't take this game lightly with them already having 3 losses in the season. I just can't see them start. I can't see them losing this game. I can't see them losing this game. I just can't see it. If Cincinnati loses this game, this type of road game early in the season with this type of situation being 1-3, with the potential of being 1-4 on the line. Now, I get it. There's more games to be played. There's one extra game in the season, but You playing around early. Cincinnati got a lot of shit to take care of this week. They got to take this is a must-win game on the road in week 5. Woo-hoo. Week 5, Cincinnati. Y'all got to win this game. Y'all got to win this game. So I'm calling Cincinnati to win this game. I'm calling Cincinnati to win this game and bounce back their offense. 28-10. 28-10 Cincinnati over Arizona. Take the Bengals in this game on the road. Take the points. All right. Next up, 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Los Angeles Rams. The 2-2 Los Angeles Rams. Another team that's kind of up and down. Don't know what you're getting out of them. Philly has looked like Super Bowl contenders once again. They look strong. That defense looks damn near unbeatable. The offense was a little stale starting the season off, but once they get their shit going, I just don't see not many teams can really line up against them in the NFC. The 49ers is one team, but Detroit's defense looks like they can do something. The Saints defense could do something if they can get their offense fixed. But I don't see no other team that's like from top to bottom better other than the 49ers in the NFC when we talking about Philly. I know people will be like, oh, what about Dallas? Dallas looks good too defensively, but offensively, I don't trust them either. So I don't hold them as high regard. I see them making the playoffs, but I don't see them going very far. But anyway, the Rams, they a weird team. They're another home underdog this week, second one of the week. Third one, my bad. The Pittsburgh is a underdog in that game against Baltimore. This is the third game where the underdog is at home. The Rams should be underdogs against the Eagles, so that's not no surprise there. But what I'm saying is the Rams on paper, they don't look like they have much of a chance against this team. Unless Sean McVay is gonna pull some offense out of his ass this week, because they've been really lacking a lot of good offense like they did when they won the Super Bowl. So we'll see what happens. Philly from top to bottom, though, I just don't see Philly not being able to manhandle them offensively and defensively. So I'm calling Philly to win this game, and I'm gonna say they're gonna cover too. I'm gonna say Philly gonna win this game 31-24 Philly. I think the Rams give them a good game, probably keep it even close, but Philly still covers 31-24. Philly wins by a touchdown. All right. Next up, another depressing East Coast team, the New York Jets. Jets, Jet. The New York Jets. Shout out to Jock Johnson, man. Jock, man, y'all team, bro. Damn. They ain't been right since Aaron Rodgers went down. Zach Wilson looked all right last week. He showed some promise. He still lost, but he showed some promise. The Jets are coming in at 1-3. They're facing off against the Denver Broncos. Man, Russell Wilson. They finally got a dub last week. 1-3 coming into this game, and are favored at home by 2.5. I've never seen one man get so much hate for doing so little of anything. Man, Russell Wilson just cannot get a break. People just take shots at Russ time after time after time after time. And normally you don't see Russ. It's not because Russ has said anything to anybody. It's just the things that he ain't saying or the things he ain't doing that make people get pissed off with him. From his teammates to his coaches. Damn, I ain't never seen somebody get so universally panned by everybody. It's interesting. It's interesting because Russell is looked at because he's not a cool guy or he ain't. It's weird. That's just weird. That's something to talk about. We may touch on that on the main podcast, but yeah, the Russell Wilson situation with them, he hasn't been playing bad, so it can't use the fact that his game on the field has been terrible. He's been pretty decent, better than last year. The overall team is just overhyped in Denver than advertised. The past 2 seasons, we've been hyped up that this offense is going to be high powered, that defense was going to be stalling, and neither of them things been happening. The offense has looked serviceable, but not inspiring at all. They look like a dink and dunk Broncos, the Denver Saints, with the play calling. They don't throw down the field that much. Denver just is weird. And then Sean Payton picking up all these former Saints players. Adam Troutman, trash. They worked out Traquan Smith, who recently got cut by the Saints. Traded for Will Lutz. Who cost him a game in week 1. Missed 2 field goals. I just feel like this team ain't poorly constructed. It's been poorly put together in Denver. They're just throwing pieces at something and not understanding what the fuck the full concept is supposed to be. So Denver, with all that being said, Sean Payton and Russ, I think, get their shit together this week by default because it's the Jets and they have Zach Wilson on the other side of the field who can show flashes, but he's just not ready to be a starter. He's a backup. I think Denver has just enough to win this game. They win barely. 21-20. Denver takes this game at home. And I don't feel confident in that. But I don't think they cover either. But that's my pick. 21-20 Denver over the Jets. Next up, Kansas City. 3-1 Kansas City against the Minnesota Vikings at 1-3. Minnesota is favored, though. Minnesota is favored by 5.5. Now, I mentioned, I think last week when I said Minnesota don't have many weapons. And that's not the case. I mean, they got Jordan Jefferson and him alone is one of the best receivers in the league. Now, what I mean is that they don't have a lot around him and Kirk Cousins. I failed to mention Jefferson himself, but look, I just feel like this. The Vikings have been advertised to be this great threat, and for years they kept removing talent, removing good talent, trading away Stephon Diggs, letting Adam Thielen go, letting Davin Cook go, letting Davin Cook go. I mean, those three players alone were major, major losses on the offense. And imagine if they had kept all those players along with Jordan Jefferson. Imagine that. But you had to pay Kirk Cousins top 5 money in the league to get average quarterbacking play. You could have went and got a cheap. You could have got Teddy Bridgewater. You could have got Jimmy. Well, probably Jimmy G was probably more expensive for what he does, and he does the same type of fucking effort. Same thing goes with Derek Carr. Derek Carr hasn't done much when he's healthy, but we'll get into Derek Carr in a little bit. A lot of average ass quarterbacking play in this league. That's what it's coming down to. But anyway, I digress. Kansas City and Minnesota. Kansas City should take care of this game, in my opinion. I don't know why the fuck Minnesota is favored in this game. I don't give a fuck if they're favored by 5.5. Bet against this game. I'm betting Kansas City on this game to beat Minnesota on the road. I don't give a fuck what they got. That shit is wild to me. I'm shocked that Kansas City is not favored in this game. Shocked. I'm calling Kansas City to win this game 28-21. Kansas City wins this game. Surprise. Damn near a touchdown. Damn near a touchdown. 5.5. All right. Fair enough. Kansas City wins this game. Next up, Sunday Night Football. The 3-1 Dallas Cowboys against the 4-0 San Francisco 49ers. Woo! This is going to be a big Sunday night game matchup. This is going to really tell if Dallas is a contender or not. If Dallas can give San Francisco a tough enough game or even win this game, San Francisco's favored by 3.5. It should be a defensive battle. I just don't see Dallas winning this game outright and San Francisco just getting whipped. I just don't see it. I can see it maybe happening because Dallas has that great defense and they can just take over a game completely. But I think San Francisco's offense and defense is head and shoulders way better. I just don't see that happening. I see San Francisco dominating action. Brock Purdy hasn't been doing a whole lot. He doesn't have to do a whole lot with Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, just to name a few of their weapons on offense. He doesn't really have to do much. He just has to manage the game, don't throw picks. Find an open player. Find an open man. Somebody gonna be open. With all these weapons, somebody gonna be open. Or just hand the fucking ball off to Christian McCaffrey. I think San Francisco dominates this game. I think Dallas gets exposed here. I think they're a B+ type of team this season. Really, really Super Bowl contending defense. Offense, not so much. I think this should be a good game starting off first half, but I think the second half, San Francisco takes this game over and dominates. I'm calling San Francisco to win this game 24-17. 17. Nah, 24-17, 24-16, San Francisco. 24-16, San Francisco over Dallas Sunday Night Football. But I think it'll be an interesting game in the first half. Monday Night Football. The 2-2 Green Bay Packers against the 1-3 Vegas Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are the last home team that is not favored for the week. They are home underdogs at 1.5 to the Green Bay Packers. Now, neither one of these teams are perfect. Jordan Love getting his first start. He's not a rookie, but he feels like he's a rookie. And Jimmy Garoppolo over there in Las Vegas, man, they starting to really see how bad this nigga is. And the Chandler Jones situation is kind of sad and tragic with him having these alleged mental health issues. And I mean, he's saying he's fine. The team saying he's crazy. Nobody knows what the fuck going on. Then he was admitted to a hospital allegedly. I don't know. There's a lot of bullshit. But as far as in this game, they ain't been playing this season. Don't look like he's gonna play at all this season at all. Definitely not for the Raiders if he does. But in regards to that, I think Green Bay should win this game. They should be favored as they should. As the spread states, is 1.5 points that they're favored on the road. So as they should. So I'm calling Green Bay to take this game, dominate this game, win big. I see there's only 1.5 points for the spread, but I'm calling them having a big win over Vegas. The Raiders are trash. The organization is trash. If you're a Raiders fan, I'm sorry. The Raiders are trash this year. They trash, bro. They trash. Green Bay's gonna win this game. 27-13. Green Bay wins on the road in Las Vegas. All right. Last but not least, New Orleans coming in at 2-2 against the New England Patriots at 1-3. It's the early afternoon game, but I had to say the best for last. You know what I'm saying? 504 in this motherfucker. I gotta save the 504 for last. So that being said, the Saints coming in 2-2. It should not be 2-2. At best, it should be 3-1. Tampa Bay, they lost that game from beginning to the end. The week before that, they should have beaten. I'm blanking on the last team the first team that they lost to. Anyway, Green Bay. They should have beaten Green Bay when they lost by 1. That was just fucked up coaching and bad play calling on offense. But what I got to get into here, the Saints have a major issue with their offense, and unfortunately, there's no real way to fix it at this point of the season because you've already directed enough attention to say, hey, Pete Carmichael is our coach for this season. So the season is already at a loss offensively. And to any way to salvage that, unless you got another offensive play calling guru on this team, I don't see it. Because you can't tell me that you have all this talent and that you can't score the football and at least be at average. They are one of the worst offensive teams in the league. And it's not even close. I don't want to dwell on this shit. I dwelled on it last week. The Saints offense just sucks. It sucks. Derek Carr is getting paid a lot of money to be average at best. Before he got hurt, he only had 1 touchdown going into week 3. Now, Yes, he could have had a slow start. Yes, he did get injured, but the same thing happened to Jameis. They threw him out there when he was hurt and not ready. Now we'll see what happens. If he still looks like he's hurt this week and they get their ass whipped in New England, it's time to rethink some shit. It might be time to go ahead and fire Pete Carmichael and give the reins to the rookie or give the reins to Jameis. And let Derek Carr sit if he's not healthy. Because at this point, you're married to Derek Carr. You got to have him. If you're the Saints management, you got to have Derek Carr succeed. You've paid all this money for a quarterback, and if he don't succeed expectations over Jameis, that's a loss. That's a major, major loss and setback. So for them to be fucking up offensively like this is a major, major setback for the season and for the team. So they got to win this game on the road. This is a must-win game for the Saints. This schedule was looked at as pretty easy compared to a lot of other teams, and they're struggling. So with that being said, the Saints got to take care of business. But let me know what y'all think. I'm calling the Saints to win this game, but I don't feel good about it. I'm calling the Saints to win this game 27-24 Saints on the road in New England, but I don't feel good about it. As long as Derek Carr, Dennis Allen, head coach, Pete Carmichael, offensive coordinator, combo is running the Saints, I don't feel good about nothing further with this team. But that's all I have. With that being said, that's it for this episode of Motherfucking Picks. Week 5 of the NFL season. Let me know what y'all picks is in the comment section. Comment, share this episode of Motherfucking Picks. We'll be back next week. Also be on the lookout for the next episode of the Motherfucking Podcast, the main episode that's gonna be dropping real soon. We're probably gonna be dropping on Mondays moving forward instead of Sundays. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. With that being said, repping the 504, I'm Mr. Headquarters. You already know what it is. It's the motherfucking